Hi, Donnell. I'm Ariana. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good. I like this energy off the top in the morning.
That's just how I am. So
That's not a bad thing. Everybody need to wake up and feel that way.
so usually you do a lot of comedic roles, but Alvin is kind of a switch from that. What attracted you to this role?
My friend called me Tasha Smith, and you know what? I have to correct you. The interesting thing, I've done more dramatic work than I've done comedic work in regard to acting. When I
Oh.
first started, I was a part of HBO's The Wire, The Corner.
Mhm.
The first gigs I booked was like all of the Law and Order series, right? In fact, people was like this, they didn't even know that I was a comedian or a funny actor until the Chappelle show. And most of the acting work I got is me as like serious role, but like sort of like a comic relief.
Mhm.
And I haven't put a lot of energy into pursuing a film and television career because I know that could be up and down. That means that someone has to approve of you. Someone's we like this guy, but with stand up, which has been my focus for the last 30 years, I'm in total control of that. You know what I'm saying? I create my own fan base. If you tell me no for a role in a movie, it doesn't mean anything to me because I can still go out and make a decent living telling jokes. But after this, I don't know because the way people are receiving this show, I was like, maybe you need to focus, put a little bit more focus on being a thespian, and you could do something special with it. But I'm appreciative and grateful for any role I get on film or TV. It's almost like a bonus to what I consider a decent career.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw that you were on The Wire and I looked at all of that, but you're definitely known for kind of the comedic twist. And I was
Yeah.
even expecting that from Alvin, but Alvin's kind of a serious character, even though he does a bit of like odd things with dead bodies.
Oh, don't even try. Don't even try. I was like, he does some odd things. I mean, everybody got their vices. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got something, but it's so funny that they captured his thoughts on these bodies on the show, but also thought it was kind of a challenge on this role because I was like, if you can figure out a way, make people snicker or laugh in the darkest, craziest situations, that's something to be said about your acting or how people see you. Because for me, everybody that see me or anything, they always like, man, I can't look at you without wanting to laugh. You know, it's like one of those things. But at the same time, everybody who see me in those situations, like, you know what? You was all right. You know, like that scene went from one area to next area, and you did it in a short period of time. So I'm doing something right.
For sure. And you're also with, to me, is like the darkest character on the show. How did you and Eric kind of build that chemistry off? Because so far, most of your scenes are with him, and you're the only person who kind of was for sure knew he was alive, other
But
than.
I'll tell you this: the funny thing about it is that he's a method actor, right? So all on set, you got to understand this. All on set, he's on kill mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, and on set, I'm on joke mode, right? So it
Mhm.
was like we would be in a van or something, and I would say something funny, and he'd be like, right? And I was like, oh shit. I'd be like, that wasn't funny. That was funny to me. Okay, all right. Let me be serious because I know you're serious. So that was kind of like with us. And he has a lot of respect for what I do as a professional stand-up. And I have a lot of respect what he does as a comedian. But of both of us coming from different worlds of acting, I think that kind of helped, you know. But like, and people like, why are you helping this guy? Why do you care about this guy? I was like, what they say, blood is thicker than water. You know,
Mhm.
and I said, I think that the only reason that he stays connected to Lamar is because it's my blood, it's my cousin. We played football together, we did all this. Now, do I want to hang with him? No, but I feel I'm obligated to hang with him and try to help him out. Yes. So I think that that's the dynamic that keeps Lamar from making Alvin one of his victims. Is that damn it? That's my cousin. You know.
True. And you give Lamar advice of like, this isn't you, because he comes to you, he's very self conscious, and that's not really like him. And you give the advice like, this is you, get back what you owe. Do you think Alvin meant that very literally? Because he takes all your advice, but like in a very strange way. Like he goes on his usual killing spree, and you tell him to clean the bag, and he cleans it on
Because
the
I'm like
person
this.
he
I mean,
killed.
it's unfortunate. Like, do what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's your, if that's your thing, and then you've built a reputation, people expect you to be a certain way. And I think that the character Alvin, he has street in him, but he chose a more positive way of doing it. He chose a legitimate lifestyle. He wants to, as you see this character, he wants to hang out. He wants to be at the parties. He wants to do that, but he don't want no police running up on him. He don't want nobody questioning what he's doing, but he wants that lifestyle. And I think in the hood, particularly, there's a lot of people like that. They was like, man, I want to live like Meech and them, but I don't want to have to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? But I got a cousin. If you about that life, be about that life. Alvin knows the street code. He don't want to necessarily follow it to that extent, but he knows it. And if you're going to be doing your thing, go do it. And you can't. What you going to do now?
True. It's not like he's about to get a job at like
right, right. At Walmart or any of that. It's like that's what you do.
Unfortunately, yep. Lamar's not about to be an executive at GM. Like, this is his life. This is a struggle he chose. So you need to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but then if you back it up to his youth or whatever, just certain changes. It's like maybe you going to a work seminar you could have used it, because in all these stories, they say these guys had the main mindset to run a Fortune 500 company. Mm-hmm. But when are you going to get tapped with that bug, and when are people going to show you that way? So as this character, it's been picked up for a third season. You never know what's going to happen, but it would definitely be interesting to see like more of what Alvin's life is, and why did he choose these things? Why don't he like cold for JJ opposed to warm for JJ? These questions need to be answered. Yeah,
we get a teeny bit of it in the beginning when his character is introduced, is that during, I believe, the Reagan administration, they let a lot of people out of mental hospitals, and he really hasn't gotten the help he needs. Right. And also just due to structural racism, like it's not like, oh, he was on like this path, like it was just never for him. And I think Alvin understands that as well too. But yeah. You mentioned BMF. Did you know a lot about BMF before joining the show?
Yeah, I mean, that is of my era. There was a time like in every major city, they had either BMF was there, or there was like groups that wanted to be BMF through the music, through the lifestyle and everything. Like me growing up between DC and Virginia, at that time during the BMF area, it was Rayful Edmonds. It was like the guys from New York, like Alpo, like the Paid in Full, that crew. It was all. So I definitely knew of it. And like every kid that from the streets, they wanted to live that lifestyle. They wanted the pop bottles, they wanted the dope cars, but everybody wasn't built to do that. And even as I was watching like the documentary and everything, and I realized like a lot of things that BMF crew did, it was kind of like similar to the lifestyle that was going on HBO's The Wire. I happened to be a part of HBO The Wire, and to know that all of these guys in BMF was fans of that show, I was like, when that was going down, I knew of them, but I didn't know that they knew of me from watching me on HBO's The Wire, which going down as one of the top 25 shows in the history of television. So I am from that generation. I am from that era, and I do know, like the one scene when they're talking about going to the fights. I remember going to the fights where you had the crew from DC, you had so and so from this area, and everybody went to the fights just to flex, just to show off. And I came up in that, but I never chose that lifestyle.
Yes. Speaking of The Wire being one of the best shows in history, and that had a majority Black cast, and BMF does as well, how's it like to be able to kind of be with your people when it's not that common in Hollywood to have a majority Black show, Black creator, Black writers, things of that nature?
I mean, it feels good because it feels really good, because when I first started this career like 30 years ago, it wasn't that any outlets like that. And particularly in stand-up, we wasn't on a Letterman show, we wasn't on late night, on any of that. We had Def Comedy Jam. But then you saw what happens when you put Black people together, when you put talented Black producers, talented Black writers and actors, something can happen. Like even when I was able to do Pixar's Soul, that was the first time that they had a movie that was like 98% a Black cast. And it made me feel good knowing that, in the Black community, everything, a lot of times we're not given opportunities, but when we get an opportunity, we take advantage, and we let you know that we were here all this time and we can do a job as good or even better. So, and this to be able to work, like when I first started like acting, I'd be on sets, you didn't see that many Black people on set. You know what I mean? Now you see more Black people on set. And another change, and this is kind of off topic, even like I say with the LBG community, you know, when I first started, you didn't see a lot of these people, you know, and like me being a part of when I did Lena Waithe's show 20s, and I start seeing other people, start seeing different people. I start seeing the lesbian woman that doing makeup. I start seeing the transgender guy doing makeup and everything, and it makes you feel good knowing that people that have been ignored for so long are starting to get equal playing fields. So you know that's my feelings on that.
Yeah, for sure. Even with press, it's not as common. It's becoming more common. Obviously, I appreciate that as a Black
Yeah.
woman to have those opportunities.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's definitely nice to be able to see that and celebrate it and also have kind of that level of comfort because the show is definitely obviously it can be enjoyed for by anyone, but it's definitely not, oh, this was a whitewash show and then we just
Oh
happened
no.
to put Black people in it.
No, it's a straight Black show. But then with anything, you know, if a show is hot, white people gonna be curious about the story. You know what I mean? So it's just like that. We could like, this is our show. No, let us peek in. Oh, we like it. Similarities in the way you run business or anything. But that's what the whole thing is like, and that's what I commend 50 on is like giving these stories an opportunity to grow, giving these actors and these talented people opportunity to have a platform for people to see what, for the most part, people have been doing for a long time. But sometimes you just need that right lick, and then you know it's off to the races after that.
Yes, yes, yes. So uh, the show is based in the late 80s and 90s. What were some of your favorite trends from that time?
The cars, the fashion, like the late 80s for me, and that was like I was just getting out of high school. I went to the military, but I remember of that area. It was about the Adidas sweatsuits. It was about the 300ZX. It was about the 280Zs. It was about going to the clubs, popping bottles. You know, it was about having girls. You know, it was just about a fast-paced life. And a lot of these lifestyles were fueled by, and it's unfortunate, but a crack epidemic, you know.
Mhm.
And we always, I've said this on a couple of other interviews, we all glorify the parties and all the good part, but the part that we missed on it is how many people went to jail, how many people went to rehab, how many people lost their family, their parents, how many people but were struggling back then and struggling to this day. Because it's always like the world. We look at the end result, but we don't look at what happens. For anybody to have that much success, that means that they destroyed a lot of things in our community. But at the same time, we don't celebrate that. You know, same way like with the Gaudis and all that, we celebrate when they had those fireworks shows, but we don't see the destruction that is doing to a community. You know,
Yeah.
we don't see that, but we glorify the party part of it. But you know, me being able, and I had a dad that was a heroin kingpin in DC, and he was probably like senior to this BMF story. You know what I mean? Like the things that he was doing in his life were similar to what they were doing, but you know, they had different codes then. You know what I mean? Nowadays, man, it's not even a good idea to be almost involved in anything illegal because we see through the news, nobody, the whole story of snitches get stitches is almost non-existent. Snitches get riches nowadays. So that's be something to be thought about when you think about I want to be Meech. All right, are you ready to deal with that? If you are, go ahead. You pick your poison.
Yes, yes. What's also really interesting about this show, and I feel like it's kind of a newer thing in Hollywood, is that you film the show, you do all of that, but then you see the instant reaction on social media of people and your character and the storyline. Do you engage in that at all, or do you watch that, or as an actor, do you try to keep it separate?
No, I mean, I like engaging my fans, and it's for me to like. Most people know me from the Chappelle Show and the comedian things. For me to like, oh, now they start to look at me more on the serious acting side. That feels good. You know, like I'm attached to some dope people. You know, like Randy Huggins, Big F, 50, Tasha Smith, Slick Name. Like all of these people are people that I respect and admire in the business, and I get to work with them. And for me, you know, like it's fun. You know, it's not like I'm looking at these acting checks to support myself because I would be in trouble if I did. But it's always fun to be and been in a conversation of one of the dopest shows on TV right now. You know, like
Yeah.
being a part of like the Wire, uh, um, the corner and stuff, and then to be another part, be a part of another show that is the Wire of this generation. It's just like, yo, you doing something right, and you just got, you know, it's some luck, and a lot of it is a lot of hard work, putting yourself in a position to meet these people, and never giving up on what you want to do.
For sure. Yeah, this show is definitely an opportunity to see so many people in different lights. Like you with this more dramatic role, even though you've done this before, Tasha directing. 50 was a rapper, but now he's this producer. It's great to see, and Lala, who was kind of a TV personality, getting to
Right.
acting. It's amazing to see these people in a different light and for them to have the opportunity, because obviously it was always there.
You said it. You said it. You hit it like this: given the opportunity. And you got to make the opportunity. You have to position yourself. Tasha was a stand-up comedian, actor. Then she got trained up being a director. You got to be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have some talent, and you don't even need that much talent, but if you have the right work ethics, you know, eventually you're gonna get the shot. But what are you gonna do when you get the shot? You got to be ready for it. Everybody, at some point, they're gonna get a shot. And are you ready for it, or you not ready for it? But again, you know, these people that are preparing themselves, 50 probably knew that he was bigger than just a rapper. You know, Tasha knew that she was just bigger than just a stand-up, you know, but given these right opportunities, you have to take it, you have to take the shot, and then you got to sink the bucket.
For sure. And I feel like everyone is. It's amazing. I can't wait to see what's next. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. This was so inspirational and a dream come true. It's like meeting an
Oh,
uncle that I've known since I
nah, it's all good. And I'm not uncle. They be like, man, let him tell a story. Let him tell a story. So it was my pleasure as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I hope to talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Okay, thanks. Bye.